morning, everyone. Welcome to another Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. It is April 4th. I'm your host, Lucas, and we've got a great reflection today on guarding our recovery. Very simple and straightforward. A little bit of hard truth in it, but I'm a big fan of the messaging. So this is from the NA Just for Today, which I'm also a big fan of. So pop it up here and let's get into it. Remember that we are ultimately responsible for our recovery and our decisions. From the NA Basic Text, page 103. Most of us will face choices that challenge our recovery. If we find ourselves in extreme physical pain, for example, we will have to decide whether or not we will take medication. We will have to be very honest with ourselves about the severity of our pain, honest with our doctor about our addiction and our recovery, and honest with our sponsor. In the end, however, the decision is ours, for we are the ones who must live with our consequences. Another common challenge is the choice of attending a party where alcohol will be served. Again, we should consider our own spiritual state. If someone who supports our recovery can attend the event with us, so much the better. However, if we don't feel up to such a challenge, we should probably decline the invitation. Today we know that preserving our recovery is more important than saving face. All such decisions are tough ones, requiring not only our careful consideration, but the guidance of our sponsor and complete surrender to a higher power. Use of all of these resources, we make the best decision we can. Ultimately, however, the decision is ours. Today, we are responsible for our own recovery. Just for today, when faced with a decision that may challenge my recovery, I will consult all the resources at my disposal before I make my choice. Yeah, so I just like how simple and straightforward this one is. Just talking about, and we were sharing a bit about this, I think, in another recent reflection video. Just about if we're in a lot of pain and we have an injury, do we need to take painkillers or not? Is that something we're going to be prescribed based on what's going on? And I like too that this is from NA, yet they still talk about going to parties where there's going to be alcohol, which may not have been a bunch of people's primary drug of choice, but still can obviously be an issue for cross addictions and things like that. So I just like that they're mentioning and talking about these, and just how the main point, the bottom line of all of it is that once we're in recovery, all these decisions and choices are ours, and we have the power to make them, and it's our decision to then protect our own recovery or not and keep ourselves safe. So I really like that that's another thing that they're just talking about as well. And just ultimately from what I'm hearing out of this, the main messaging for me and that hard truth is relapse is a choice. Relapse is a choice. You chose to do it. I'm sorry, relapse is not a part of recovery. Relapse is a part of addiction. Relapse is use. That's using. So all this, I don't buy into the relapse as part of recovery. I think it's garbage. I don't buy into that at all. And it's a choice. So I do know that it is common and that a lot of people do it. But again, that's your choice. And like it's saying here, we're responsible for our recovery and our decisions. Same with, the medical procedures that may come up. Same with the parties we may go to or not. The people we associate with, all of these things. These are all of our own decisions and choices that we're making. So I just like that they just pretty much lay that flat out, even probably a little bit nicer than I just did maybe. But yeah, I just like that they mention and talk about those things, just because it's all true. I think it's all true. And then especially now, once you come into recovery, you know that you can't use safely. That's not an option for you. And so you hopefully have been then building this support system with a sponsor and a home group and fellowship and other friends who are supportive of your recovery and not using, and being surrounded by those people. So you're now building the support system to help safeguard your recovery and help you make these right and better decisions, right? And, we have our disease lies in our brain, so we can get hijacked, and our decision-making can get hijacked. Our disease can easily talk us into things that are going to be a good or bad idea or not. And this is where we need the these principles that this reflection is talking about, being honest with everybody around us in our support system about what's going on and what may be a challenge or an issue for us. So it talks about honest with a doctor, sponsor, getting like recovery friends or your support system, things like that. So that's just another point to make on how, depending on what the situation is, you don't have to be alone in it, and you don't have to be alone in making that decision. And you can be asking for help and suggestions and just getting that outside information to help you determine what's going to be the best thing for you. And ultimately, like it says, we're responsible for our recovery. We're the ones that have to live with it. We live with our decisions. So, if you love yourself or are wanting to and learning how to love yourself, then make these best decisions for you. Make the best ones for you, for your recovery. In this sense, you're the one that has to live with it. You will assumedly, or for a lot of folks, will enter recovery on their own volition because they want to and want to do it for them. And that's your best chance at success for it. So then why not be putting in that effort and be making these better decisions for you? So these are the points that are standing out for me with this reflection, and that's what I'm really liking. And today, when faced with a decision that may challenge my recovery, I will consult all the resources at my disposal before I make my choice. Just really nicely wrapping up and just kind of bringing that point home, which I think is really good. So yeah, I think there we go. Short and sweet one today. Very straight to the point, but I really like that messaging behind it. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this morning's coffee and contemplation. Please throw down in the comments what stands out for you. What are things you do to help safeguard your recovery? Would love to hear them. And check out the description for other ways that Spotlight Recovery can support you. We've got all kinds of other videos in there, recovery coaching, a podcast, blog, ways you can support the channel if you're enjoying the content, just doing the YouTube thing, subscribing, liking, sharing with your friends, and telling folks about us. And you can also donate and become a member of the channel and get yourself some branded merch. We got a bunch of cool stuff in there too. And then lastly is I do recovery coaching with folks. So if you're feeling like you're lacking in this area around direction and support on safeguarding your recovery, then reach out to me. Links in the description. I'd be happy to see if there's a way that I can help support you and guide you through your recovery. Okay, so there you go. Wishing you a blessed 24 in recovery. Have a great day. Get out there, enjoy it, and safeguard that recovery, and we'll see you again tomorrow.